there is a major paradigm shift that is happening as we speak. And the problem over here is that a lot of your friends and people that you know from school or probably you work prior with are currently in a very, very bad position. You probably have friends who used to have a very successful business, which is currently or recently closed. Probably had a lot of friends who had a very good profession, they have a very good career outlook, who were recently fired, right? And this paradigm shift represents the second part of the equation, the people who do not see this paradigm happening, people who really oversee the linear progression of the economy. They were preparing themselves academically and business wise for economy where everything was going to progress in a linear way. You get a job, you get a degree, everything is kind of more or less predictable in the future. If I want to start a business, I know exactly what I should do and how the business will grow. If I want to buy the house, I know how to get the house, the mortgage, how to get funds, how to manage the mortgage, so on and so forth. Same thing happened for the people with the career. They kind of prepared themselves for careers in a linear economy where they didn't expect the next paradigm, which in our case we're talking about the AI revolution happening, or didn't believe that it is going to actually happen. So a lot of the people that you currently know, friends, family, are secretly broke. And things are not getting better. You just look around. You just look around. Think about people around you. It almost felt like during the last 2, 3 years, everyone was kind of doing fine. Everyone was kind of doing okay. It has always been people who were doing better, making more money, growing their net worth, whatever. But almost like overnight, in the last, let's say, 24 months, everything snapped. Almost everyone got poorer, and the people who are doing well now are doing exceptionally well. And the gap actually exploded, expanded, right, in the levels that probably haven't heard of. And this is not only coming from the paradigm of economic non-linear development. We're talking about a shift where the skill set combined with lack of preparation for adjusting your not only mindset but adjusting your skills and adjusting your knowledge base plays a determinational role. People who cannot adjust cannot survive. It's very, very simple to say it, hard to execute it, but I believe the hardest part is actually to see where the problem actually lies. Because, like I said, a lot of people who were doing very, very well, they think about the last 2, 3 years, people around you, your very immediate circle, doing some e-commerce, reselling some clothes, doing some Amazon, having some physical retail location. I guarantee you most of these people have either closed or lost business 20, 30, 40, 50%, and very soon they're going to close, especially people with high paying jobs previously. They're the first people who were found themselves not needing, right? The people who are making 150 account manager, 150K, 200K, 300K account managers, all these date sorting, filtering, input lead generation positions who were essentially paper holders, completely are out of their mind, right? Imagine you graduate 8 years ago, you spent 6 or 7 years, you already seeing yourself to become a VP in whatever company you're working, and now you're out on the street. Why? The paradigm shift is happening. And this is not some science fiction. I want you to really understand the concept because when the paradigm shift happens during the first revolution, moving from actual horse carriages towards automobiles, right? The second revolution coming from actual playing the engineering skills of the humans. A lot of people, if not most of the people, have no clue how this actually works. They didn't have idea how the car works, the combustion engine works. They didn't have idea how the electricity works. They didn't have idea how Nikola Tesla actually built the AC and how he converted and actually destroyed the DC of Edison. A lot of people weren't so sophisticated and weren't so interested in learning anything outside their original skills by training, whatever they learn in school, whatever they learn in universities. This is what they lived with. No one was actually going out of their way to learn something else on the side, or at least not deeply enough. You had some surface knowledge. Back in the days, people didn't even know where this country or that country outside the US actually was located. So you need to understand that people who lived with this mindset, they had to learn. And the good thing is that there was no distraction back in the days. People had nothing to do. You go to work, you finish work, and then nothing to do. Most people had no televisions back then. Then when the next revolution came, yes, some of them have radio, some of them have televisions, but still the distraction was not at the level that it is right now. So this means that people have actually focused strict plan of execution or learning some of the skills. This is why a lot of people actually found jobs. When the US Steel was actually started and executed, a lot of people learn how to utilize steel, how to build bridges. A lot of people without engineering background learn how to do engineering, right? So this means that anyone can learn everything, regardless of the type of paradigm shift that is happening around the world. But a lot of your friends, I already guarantee you, they don't want to learn AI. They hate AI. And they secretly hope that AI will, will give up, AI will disappear. They secretly expect this is going to be just another bubble and everything will simply go away. I hope Michael Burry also hopes for the AI bubble because he's betting big against the market. But again, if you just hope on one thing, you're not really hedging, you're not really risk adjusting your bet. You should always prepare for the opposite. You should prepare yourself for being right. You should prepare yourself for being wrong at the same freaking time. What this means? Well, you can still hate the AI, you can still hate all the technology, you can still hate any tool that replaces the human skill that you previously possess, but you should also simultaneously prepare yourself to utilize the skill either for yourself in your personal life or utilize the skill to save it as a service. And I'm not just picking up stuff from the air. I got plenty of calls from different banks that I have business accounts with, right? And I got plenty of calls. And all of the banks, when we have personal meeting one on one, they said, why don't pick up the phone? Why we cannot reach you out? I said, I already have an AI agent that filters and sorts out all the calls. Not only this, I have disabled the voice call. Why is that? Because the AI agent filters all the calls, and before the voice calls actually leave a small transcript on the phone, and this transcript can give a false directions to the AI agent. Can say, oh, this is the information you requested. You can just click here and find the information you requested, and the AI agent might get confused. They might click on links that shouldn't click. This is going back to the example. Regardless of what you think about AI, regardless of what you think about your current, financial or career path, you should hedge every single bet and prepare yourself to take part in the paradigm shift. Otherwise, you're gonna be left behind the paradigm shift. You're gonna be left with people who didn't believe in cars replacing the carriages, didn't believe that electricity will replace the gas swamps, didn't believe that the actual guns will replace the bows and arrows, and the people who were, not optimistic, didn't hedge their bet. No one said anything about them in the history. They were simply erased from the history. Replaced. Technology results, the results from all of these technological innovations replaced anyone who was skeptical of. Think about all the people who were writing articles in 19s that the internet is the next fad, the internet is the scam, it's nobody's going to be using. Same people who are talking that no one will ever own a personal computer because it doesn't make any sense. These people simply were washed out of the media, washed out from the social media space, washed out from the history because they were so wrong. Then ask yourself, do you want to be washed out from the history or you want to take part of the history? So when you get some money, when you go to the next level, when you finally find a way to generate some passive income, find a way to generate some very serious cash flow, find a way to have excessive capital on the side and being able to afford yourself to live to the next level, there are five things that you should definitely change. And this is not your regular normist type of consumer electronics or some luxury gadgets. Let me get into the details, and most of which will not be, generally accepted. The first one, of course, will be your circle. You should change people who are around you. This is a big no-no for a lot of people. You probably already heard that you should stick to your old friends, all the people that you know because you know their flaws, you know what to expect from them more or less, how they're gonna, say lies, be not genuine. Everyone has flaws. The idea over here is that what I personally have learned is that when you start hanging out with different people from the next level, the level that you're just entering, you're learning so many things that you don't have access to learn anyway. I have learned things that are coming from people who have been 20, 30 years in business that if I didn't meet them, if I didn't sit down and talk with them, spend time with them, I would never had access to this type of information because it's kind of a side information. It's kind of a This is what happened to me. This is how we actually approached. I reach out to this person, his legal team actually figure it out. Then we have to hire somebody overseas to prepare the paperwork. No, different channels of information, different solutions for different problems. If you just keep hanging out with your old friends who are most likely not business interested, it is very likely for you to kind of hit your plateau level and not progress to the next level. Think about the great entrepreneurs of this time. Think about Mark Zuckerberg. When he actually built Facebook, even during building the Facebook, even during Facebook, evolving and progressing, he kind of, moved himself outside his classmates, outside of some of the co-founders. Think about Eduardo Sauderen. He pushed some of the people actually away. This is just give you an illustration that he built a brand new circle around himself. He surrounded himself with VC people. He surrounded himself with Peter Thiel. He surrounded himself with advisors and people who were more experienced in the startup industry. He didn't keep hanging out from Harvard alumni. He didn't keep hanging out with people from New York. No, he just closed the door for all the old connections and he opened the door for the new connections. So forget about all the stick to the old friend circles. If you want to go to the next level, you should open the brand new door and close the old door. The second thing also is, in my opinion, pretty non-negotiable. Time management. Listen, I could be considered a pretty stingy person. I don't ever pay full price for anything. Always try to negotiate good deals, always get a discount. That's who I am. But if I tell you that if you can afford to buy a personal airplane or personal helicopter, and this is a game changer because this is a real life time machine, I'm not exaggerating. You will understand that the quality of life that you had previously, it's bullshit. The quality of life, not having to live on the lines like normal people, not having to live by the rules of third party, airline company, not having to, stick to the small seats and wait for the delays and something might not be accurate, dirty seats, and all these small elements that destroy your quality of life. Once when you try the other side, the other experience, you will never want to go back. The real lifetime machine. Take an example of domestic flight that usually will take you between, let's say, on average, 5 hours, considering time prior and after the flight and during the flight and delays and so on and so on. This flight could be drastically shortened by around 2.5 to 3 hours if you have a personal plane. You have people on your payroll. You have two pilots waiting for you. You pick up the phone. You can make an appointment 30 to 45 minutes prior you want to fly. You just call them. They're on the spot ready for you. Okay, this is big non-negotiable, especially when you consider if you can afford the very nice big helicopter. We're talking about 5 to 8 seater, not the big one 10. There is a helicopter that can reduce your travel time like crazy. For example, the other day I was looking why, if you want to go to Hamptons from New York to Hamptons by car, it's 4.5 5 hours. If you want to take the train, it could be 6 hours, changing one train, second train, third train, right? If you want to go with the boat, even if you have a Thunder speedboat, it still will take you around 2.5 3 hours, which is mind blowing. But what if you have a chopper? Well, if you have a helicopter, surprise, surprise, you can go from New York City, right, to Hamptons for 60 minutes. It's 3 5 times your time saved. Absolutely 100% worth it if you can afford it. If you can afford to fly private, this is definitely one of the best things that you could do. Third important element also, think about how many people disregarding spending money on their health when they don't have much money, right? It's almost like when you're broke, the last thing you kind of focus is spending or investing in your health. But when people start making a lot of money, first thing they're gonna do the aesthetics, they're gonna do, people who don't have hair, they're gonna do the hair, they're gonna do the teeth, they're gonna do a lot of small elements, facials, aesthetics. Health is extremely important if you can actually measure the progress, not going above and beyond. Because a lot of people are following how much of each and every vitamin they can max out on a daily basis. They have 100% vitamin K, 100% vitamin C, 100% vitamin A. Right? They can try to max each one of these vitamins, but the measure of the actual performance or improvement of the overall health is hard to be measured. The health investment matters only if you can measure it. If you go above and beyond, might actually have a counterintuitive effect, might actually hurt you. Your performance. Think about people who are supercharged on the gym bros. You don't really get more strong or you don't get more pretty going over the board by getting more muscular or gaining more physical mass. It's almost like the people who are putting stickers from the racing competition on their cars. It doesn't make the car faster. That's so stupid. You know, when you put the stickers of the car, it doesn't make the car faster or the small spoiler at the back. You should focus only on things that actually can improve. People who buy AMG package in Mercedes, you don't buy the outside interior AMG package. You buy the actual engine AMG extension that makes the car faster. Fourth important element, infrastructure. Any possible technological advancements that could improve your life performance, being at work or personal, you should invest in. I'm talking about any technology that you previously had idea to try, had idea to buy, will make your life better. A lot of the simplicity in our life is more or less connected to technology. Technology make life easier, which reduces the time spent on particular activity, which increases your free time. Your free time can either be focused on hobby or can be focused on another business. This is why technology infrastructure around you on a daily basis is very important. People use smart fridges, people use smart uh, lightning technology at their homes. You know exactly which time of the day, depending on the forecast. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy. I want tomorrow between in the morning between 9 and 12 before the actual real natural sunlight appears from the clouds. I want to have a more warmer light at home. I want to have the curtains to be open at 34 degrees, right? All these small elements of the technology that is knowing you and have a knowledge base plus memory learning on your behavior, on the parameters that you set based on the weather, based on the natural sunlight, based on your productivity, which days you're working, which days you're actually having days off. And the fifth important element, of course, will be building the connection around people who are dedicating their life building your company. Spend time, take care of your employees. A lot of people now these days understand that the human capital is very important. But now with the AI replacement, a lot of these business owners are forgetting that this will actually make the human capital more important. Will make certain positions 10 times more important than they were prior. And of course, there will be human capital will not be needed, right? There will be people who will be fired and will never be hired. But the people who will keep their positions will be 10 times more important. Why is that? According to Cloudflare, now, as we speak, at the moment, we have over 50% of all the traffic online is happening through the AI agents. It's not happening to you humans. What this even means that at some point, this AI agents traffic or purchases or browsing or overall location-based data will be contributed by 80-90% of non-human accounts. This means that you need to have somebody who will be able to filter out and make sense out of this information. This is going to be a human. And this human will be in charge of actually not only creating systems to prevent, bad players on the AI agent systems, but he will also be in charge of creating systems that will help increase the sales, building the actual websites that will be suitable and will trigger interest from the AI agents. So these employees effectively that were previously trained to service your humans, being a good sales rep, learning how humans behave and being able to sell them whatever they want to sell. Now they have to learn the AI agents language. They have to learn how to pitch the AI agents, right? This is why the humans in your company who are most likely not yet fired and not going to be fired, they're going to be very, very important. This is why you need to really put the time and you really need to show them that you respect them and you want to invest in them and you want to make sure that they're also profiting from this new revolution, from this new technology, right? You want to make sure you're sharing the profits in some way. I'm not saying you do a clean cut from the daily profits, right, from them. No, I'm just trying to say that you should give them a special way growing the company to be able for each of these individuals to grow their personal network along the way. This is unlimited money glitch in real time for everyone involved in the company. Nobody wants to leave. No one wants to leave the work early. No one wants to be late for work because everyone knows that it makes them more money by being better at work.